Hello guys and welcome to a new video on this channel. Now this is one of the couple of videos that I actually prepared for this phone here, the iPhone 11. I got this phone a couple of days ago and this phone has amazed me and actually raised a lot of questions that no other phone has yet made me raise. And those questions actually intertwine with the main goal that I always have with making my videos. Now, I don't show you the most flashiest and newest products. Well, first of all, I can't afford them. But on the other hand, the more important fact is I don't want to focus on the most important, the newest, flashiest product with the most power, the most core, the most RAM. And you know what? That's not the most important thing for me. I want to show you what really makes sense, where you get your money's worth. Which product out of the whole pipeline that a company produces really makes sense. Which product makes sense for these kinds of people and which product makes sense for these kinds of people. And I always try to make those videos and I hope you kind of also realize that. But I'm not perfect, guys. And it happened to me too. When I went to the store actually wanting to buy the iPhone 11 Pro, I also fell for it. My only reasoning for buying the phone, and I realized this now, was the specs. I only looked at the specs. It happened to me too. The typical YouTuber tech reviewer trap, I fell into it. I went to the store, I asked the woman working there, well, I want the iPhone 11 Pro. And I needed it now because the old phone from my mom was a bit faulty and she wanted my old one, so to say, and I could buy myself a new one, so I needed it right now. And a woman working there said, well, we don't have it right now. And I was like, oh no. I was already kind of happy. Of course, you're excited getting a new phone. But then she said to me, well, we have the iPhone 11 in stock. And you know what happened? And this phone made me realize this. I immediately said no. I didn't even consider it. Like, she said, we have an iPhone 11, which is an amazing phone. And I just immediately say no. I didn't even consider the phone. In my mind, it was a complete no, surely not. Like, it was a really bad phone, you know what I mean, in comparison to the iPhone 11 Pro. And I don't get what happened there in my mind, because now having the phone, and we'll get to that, why I actually think this is the best phone out of the new lineup for the majority of people. I immediately didn't even consider the phone. And you know what happened to me? And this is the typical tech YouTuber trap that I meant before. My whole reasoning behind not getting the phone at that point, at that exact point in time when she told me that, was the screen. I shit you not, the thing I always say with the MacBook Air, I always say the display is still great in the 2017 MacBook Air. I still defend this. I always say you don't need a 4K display in the laptop. I mean, it's great and it's nice to have, but you don't need it. I still find the display of the MacBook Air 2017 great, you know? And the guy that's telling you that actually immediately declined an iPhone 11 because of the display. So I said that for a couple of minutes. I was at that opinion. I didn't change it. I did not even consider the phone. And then she was like, well, we have an iPhone XS still. You know what? I almost bought the XS only because I wanted the OLED. Isn't that sad in a way that I got influenced so hard by all those reviews bashing the iPhone 11 for the screen that I almost bought an actually in almost all way inferior phone just to, I don't know, get the OLED and the higher resolution? I mean, isn't that kind of crazy? So how did I still get this phone? Well, I kind of thought about it while she was looking at me, and it must have come off so weird because I just like immediately declined the phone like it's the worst phone ever made. And then I said, well, you know what? I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna like try it out again and then I'll come back. And I went to the store, and still when I went to the other tech store just to test out the other phones, I still was thinking, well, maybe they have like some discount there for the iPhone 11 Pro. I wasn't backing down. I still didn't think about the iPhone 11. And then at the store, when I was confronted with, no, it's still way more expensive there, I had to consider the iPhone 11. And I did. I looked at the iPhone 11. And then I did it. I did what most people kind of probably don't do. Because most people listen to the reviewers, and when reviewers, and I don't say all reviewers are doing this, there are a lot of great guys actually that say the iPhone 11 is a great phone. And even though the display is not as good as the other phones of the Pro lineup, it's still an amazing phone overall and probably the phone that everyone should get. But there is a lot of reviewers that say, no, iPhone 11 display shit, no. Because I promise you, with every review of the iPhone, not every, but with almost every negative review of the iPhone 11, the main point of criticism, not the camera, not the performance, because they can criticize that because the cameras back here are straight from the iPhone 11 Pro. There is no difference. The only difference is that the iPhone 11 Pro has a telephoto camera here. And with the performance, they can't hate on that as well, because you get the A13 Bionic in there, the same chip as the iPhone 11 Pro. Well, you get the same performance essentially, and I think actually, why is no one saying this? Isn't it kind of very great that you can get the same amount of performance, like the top of the line performance with a phone that's $300 less than the iPhone 11 Pro, or with the speakers of this phone? This phone has one of the best, no, it has the best speaker array and best sounding speakers I have heard on a smartphone yet. This phone supports Dolby Atmos, and I thought, no, Dolby Atmos on the phone, yeah, sure, that surely will work. Guys, the sound in Dolby Atmos clips was moving around me. I could hear it here, I could hear it here. It was always next to my ear, even though it was coming directly from the phone. I don't know how they do it. It actually is incredible. And even if you're not listening to Dolby Atmos, and I'll insert a clip now here, it's crazy how good the speakers are. They actually have some legit bass in there.
This
Turn it down
is
a
Dolby
bit.
Cinema. It's where the most advanced cinematic technology you've ever experienced begins. This is Dolby Atmos. The number of speakers
You're
around
right, yeah.
It's crazy,
like
right?
as if it was behind you.
It's weird.
object-based cinematic audio. With powerful moving audio that transcends from channels,
Really? Holy shit!
moving around you, with accuracy.
Look at that. It really flew there.
I even heard it from here.
I mean, I think yes, it's an awesome sounding thing, but you know that it's coming from the phone. Like it's
Yeah.
not like in the whole room,
Yeah,
type
that's
of like from
possible,
a
yeah.
Dolby Atmos TV or something.
Yeah, sure.
But for a phone,
Of nature's fury.
wow, the screen is very sharp, like insane. What
See?
should I say?
See?
It's like when I compare mine.
This is an iPhone 7,
It's
right?
iPhone 7, yeah. I mean, alone the colors, like, they really blow you away. If you were to show me, like, and not tell me this is an OLED, I would take it for granted.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm not this type of person who is an expert in this,
Yeah,
but
sure.
I mean, this looks stunning.
Yeah,
Well, what can you
yeah.
say?
It's really, it has amazing colors in my opinion. Yeah? Well,
Also the OS and all that is really sharp,
Yes.
all the applications.
and you know what's really crazy? The speakers in my MacBook Air, and I really like my speakers in my MacBook Air 2017. But the speakers in this phone, you know, you have to realize this little phone are better, like significantly better than the MacBook Air that I have. I mean, isn't that kind of crazy? We have gotten to a point where these phones in this form factor can do sound that is better than like laptops. And when you're making photos or videos with your iPhone 11, there is never a moment in time where you stop and look at the photos or the videos and you think, that's not the pro photos, that's not the best thing. I have the cheaper phone. You never have this feeling. And then I take a photo with the front camera, the exact same front camera that we get with the iPhone 11 Pro. And I look at it and I'm like, wow, this is actually a big difference. I can shoot 4K 60 in a front camera. I mean, it's crazy. The display, I'm looking at the display, I'm watching even Apple TV Plus on the display, and I'm always thinking, it's a nice display. It's a sharp display. I never really realize that it's not full HD. No, I don't. It doesn't make a big difference because I'm looking at the phone from this, well, kind of like this range. I'm never looking at the phone like this because I tested this even because a lot of tech YouTubers say, you can see the pixels, you can see the pixels. How are you guys looking on your phones? I mean, I really have to imagine, because when I open my phone, I'm trying to visualize this for you, I'm looking probably at this distance. I think this is a normal distance. If I really maybe can't read something, I'm looking like this. but that's the nearest that my phone, that's even too near, probably this here. This is the nearest my phone would get to my face, you know what I mean? I don't know, at this point, and that's just fact, you can see the pixels. Don't tell me you can see the pixels from this range, it's just a lie, let's be honest. You can only, and even then you can only see the pixels if you go in like this, like at this rate. Yes, I can see it like just a little bit, you know what I mean? Not even a lot. At this rate. And people are like, the display, and you can see the pixel. You know what, get out of here if you think you can see the pixel. That's just a lie. You know what, I always try to like preach to you guys with this channel, and I always say this. I said this with my MacBook Air video that I made in April. I said this back then when I made the MacBook Air, the original review in like, I don't know, last year or actually 2 years ago in March. I always said it. Don't think about whether you can afford this. And again, I also fell for this trap. Don't only think about if you can afford the phone. So the next time you go to your smartphone provider wanting to buy a new phone, and let's say you can afford the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro. But the iPhone 11 Pro is already price-wise at that line where you would say, phew, but nothing more. I can afford this, but I don't want anything that's even more expensive. You know what I mean? Don't only think about, well, could I afford it? Because when I can afford the iPhone 11 Pro, I have the best phone, the OLED, the free cameras, and you know what I mean, and the stainless steel around it. Yes, it's the best phone that Apple right now gives you. But honestly, also think about the other aspect. Think about, do I, and a lot of people, and I also didn't do this, think about if you really need it. If you would really use it, would you really take advantage of the improvements from the iPhone 11 to the iPhone 11 Pro? Or actually, would you be completely fine with the iPhone 11, not even like noticing the differences after a couple of days? Because for example, with the cameras, if you don't really use the telephoto, you won't really miss it, you know? And with the display, honestly, to all the guys hating it's not even Full HD OLED, you know? Honestly, this is a display. This is probably the best LCD I have seen yet. Color-wise, it is so close to the OLEDs, it's not even funny. And I know contrast ratio-wise, yes, this phone has like, I think 1 to 1,400, and the OLED from the iPhone 11 Pro is 1 to 2 million, and that sounds like a really big difference. And yes, technology-wise it is, but in real life, and that's what's so important, yes, spec-wise it looks nice, and yes, spec-wise it is a difference and a big upgrade. But in real life usage, for the run-of-the-mill guy, for most people, and I wouldn't consider myself as a run-of-the-mill guy, I'm quite a tech-savvy guy, and I really look at tech, and I'm really interested in the new features and the new improvements, you know. Even for me, I don't notice them because I wouldn't really take advantage of the improvements. And that's kind of what I want to tell you guys. Don't always think about whether I can afford this, could I afford this, could I get the best phone? Don't only think about that, but also think about what makes the most sense for me. So before you buy a phone, do the simple thing. Before deciding to buy it, don't buy a phone just because it's the best phone. Don't go in there and just buy the iPhone 11 Pro with the only reason being, well, it's the best phone. No, go in the shop, look at both phones side to side. They're normally always side to side. Look at them, compare them, but do it objectively. I know it's not easy because when you hear all these reviews telling you, oh, the bezels are bigger, and oh, I don't know, everyone's raving about the bezels these days. Anyway, the bezels, you know, they're bigger, and the LCD in 2020, oh my god. And everyone's telling you this, you know? And it kind of makes the iPhone 11, and I'm not telling you everyone does this. There are a lot of people actually that don't do this, but a lot of YouTubers do this. And it makes the iPhone 11 look like a bad buy. It's not important what your favorite YouTuber is saying about the phone, or if your favorite YouTuber likes the phone. It doesn't matter, because the truth is, you need to be happy with the phone. What does it help you if you buy the newest iPhone, or it doesn't matter, the newest, let's say you have the choice between the Samsung Galaxy S20 and the S20 Ultra, and you buy the Ultra just to have the best phone. And in the end, you don't even use the features, you don't even use the space zoom, you never go up to like, I don't know, 8K, even though it's supposed to be not that good. But anyway, if you don't even use the features of the Ultra, why buy it? And that's what I'm saying. just compare both iPhones in that case, like I did, compare them. And if you notice while comparing them, well, actually, for me, for my eye, doesn't really make a big difference. If that's what you're thinking, go with the iPhone 11. Save you the couple of hundreds of bucks that you can save from buying the iPhone 11 over the iPhone 11 Pro. I never thought I would have done this. Honestly, guys, for a lot of time, since the release of the iPhone 11 Pro, I always only was recommending the iPhone 11 Pro. And you know why? Only because of specs. Only because it's the best phone. I also fell for the trap. And now, with the iPhone 11, I finally realized how wrong I was. You don't always need the newest and the best phone just to have it. Sometimes, just buying the inferior version, if you just wanted to say this, the more cheaper version, makes a lot of sense too. So what I wanted to say with that video is, yes, the iPhone 11 Pro is one of the best phones that you can get right now. But do not always just consider the top of the line phones, and don't always just take the opinion of YouTubers for granted. Don't do that, because you know what, in the end it doesn't matter if they like the phone, if they prefer the phone, it matters if you like the phone, if you prefer the phone. And doesn't it feel nice if you buy a phone, the cheaper phone, and you get it and you look at it and you use it and you thought, oh my god, thankfully I didn't spend all the money on the better phone, because honestly this is already so much more than I need. You know what I mean? So that's my defense of the iPhone 11, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it in the comments below. Do you think the iPhone 11 is a bad phone? And no, it's not acceptable. The display, you know. What's your opinion? And honestly, what's your opinion? Let's discuss this objectively, please, in the comments below. That was my video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Till later.